David Woolley thinks he knows jack, but he don't know jack about polygamy. Those words, dripping with venom and desperation, came straight from Kody Brown's mouth during the season 20 tell-all, and folks, they tell you everything you need to know about where this man's head is at right now. In all the years we have watched this family implode in spectacular fashion on national television, Kody has never stooped quite this low. He looked directly into the camera and attacked Christine's new husband, a man who has done nothing but love his wife and step up for children that Kody himself abandoned. The audacity is absolutely staggering. Let us be crystal clear about what just happened here. Kody Brown, a man whose entire polygamous family collapsed around him like a house of cards in a hurricane, decided that the best use of his airtime was to insult the new husband of his ex-wife. Not to reflect on his own failures, not to take accountability for the destruction he caused, not to address why 3 out of 4 wives walked away from him. No, instead he chose to attack David Woolley's understanding of polygamy. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife, and viewers immediately noticed the breathtaking hypocrisy on display. Sources close to production describe Kody's demeanor during this segment as completely unhinged. One insider put it bluntly, he was like a wounded animal lashing out at anything that moved, and they are absolutely right. This was not the calculated, manipulative Kody we have seen in seasons past. This was a man who has lost control of his narrative, lost control of his family, and is now desperately trying to tear down anyone who represents what he could never be. David Woolley represents success where Kody represents failure, and that truth is eating him alive from the inside out. What makes this attack so revealing is what it exposes about Kody's deepest insecurities. Here is a man who spent decades positioning himself as the patriarch, the spiritual leader, the center of a plural family that was supposed to demonstrate the beauty of polygamous living. And where is he now? Sitting alone with Robyn while Christine thrives in a monogamous marriage that actually works. The man who supposedly knows everything about family has lost almost his entire family, while the construction worker from Utah has built something genuine and lasting. Let that sink in for a moment. The backlash from fans has been swift and merciless. Social media exploded with viewers pointing out that Kody is the last person on earth who should be lecturing anyone about family dynamics. One comment that went viral summed it up perfectly. Kody lived polygamy and still managed to fail at every single relationship. How exactly does that make him the expert? Another viewer noted that David has done more for Christine's children in 2 years than Kody did in 20. The court of public opinion has rendered its verdict, and it is absolutely devastating for Kody Brown. But this explosive insult is just the tip of a very disturbing iceberg, and what happened during the rest of the tell-all reveals tensions that run far deeper than anyone expected. The scene at the season 20 tell-all was unlike anything we have seen in the show's long history, and that is really saying something considering the amount of drama this family has delivered over the years. From the moment Kody took his seat, the energy in the room was thick with unresolved anger and barely contained hostility. Production sources describe an atmosphere so tense that crew members were genuinely uncomfortable, with multiple people noting that Kody seemed to arrive with an agenda and absolutely nothing was going to stop him from executing it. What immediately stood out to everyone watching was the sheer volume of censorship required during Kody's segments. The bleeping was constant and relentless, suggesting a stream of profanity and personal attacks that TLC could not possibly air in their original form. One production insider revealed that in all their years working on reality television, they had never seen someone require that much audio editing in a single sitting. Let us translate what that really means. Kody was so out of control, so consumed by his own rage, that editors had to work overtime just to make his segments broadcastable. This is a man who has completely lost his grip. The contrast between Kody's explosive behavior and David Woolley's response could not have been more striking. When word reached David about Kody's attacks, his response was measured and devastating in its simplicity. "I ain't gotta live it to know," David said, referring to what went wrong in Kody's plural marriage. Those 7 words carried more wisdom and insight than anything Kody managed to articulate in his entire rant. David did not need to raise his voice. He did not need to hurl insults. He simply stated a truth that everyone watching already knew, and it landed like a knockout punch. Insiders familiar with the dynamics between the former sister wives describe this tell-all as a turning point that cannot be undone. One source close to Christine said that watching Kody attack her husband only confirmed everything she already knew about leaving. She has zero regrets, and seeing him spiral like this just proves she made the right choice. Another person connected to the production noted that David's calm demeanor in the face of Kody's aggression made Kody look even more unhinged by comparison. The man simply refused to play Kody's game, and it drove Kody absolutely crazy. But what makes this tell-all particularly fascinating is the layers of complexity that keep emerging. Robyn's involvement in backing up Kody's attacks raised immediate red flags for viewers who have long suspected her of being the puppet master behind his worst decisions. Janelle's reaction shocked everyone who expected her to defend Christine's right to happiness. And underlying all of it is the unmistakable stench of a man who knows his relevance is fading and is desperately clinging to any shred of attention he can grab. But viewers quickly noticed something during Kody's tirade: that he clearly forgot about his own situation, and the hypocrisy was so blatant that social media could not stop talking about it. Let us break down exactly what went down during this confrontation, because the details reveal just how coordinated this attack actually was. Kody and Robyn came into that tell-all with a strategy, and that strategy was to systematically tear down David Woolley's credibility as a partner and as a voice in discussions about the Brown family. The first line of attack centered on David's sister, who apparently experienced polygamy firsthand. His sister lived it, so he thinks he knows everything. Kody sneered, as if secondhand knowledge somehow disqualifies someone from having valid observations about dysfunction. Allow me to translate what Kody was really saying here. He was attempting to dismiss David's perspective by suggesting that unless you have personally lived plural marriage, you cannot possibly understand it. But here is where Kody's logic completely falls apart. By his own standard, the only people qualified to comment on his family's collapse would be other failed polygamists. The doctors, therapists, relationship experts, and millions of viewers who can clearly see the problems somehow do not count because they have not personally married multiple spouses. It is an absurd gatekeeping argument designed to deflect all criticism. Then came the construction worker digs. And this is where Kody's true colors really showed. Multiple sources confirm that Kody made thinly veiled remarks mocking David's blue-collar background, suggesting that a man who works with his hands could not possibly understand the complexities of Kody's sophisticated family structure. Let that sink in for a moment. Kody Brown, whose own career trajectory is questionable at best, looked down his nose at a man who builds things for a living. David constructs actual structures that stand the test of time. Kody constructs relationships that crumble into dust. The metaphor writes itself. Observers at the tell-all describe David's composure as masterful in the face of these attacks. While Kody grew increasingly red-faced and agitated, David remained steady and unbothered, which only seemed to infuriate Kody further. One insider noted that David seemed almost amused by the whole spectacle, like he was watching a child throw a tantrum over a toy they never deserved in the first place. That assessment perfectly captures the energy of the exchange. David has nothing to prove. Kody has everything to prove and no way to prove it. The coordinated nature of the attack became even more apparent when Robyn jumped in to support Kody's position. She echoed his dismissals and added her own digs at David's qualifications to speak on family matters. Sources describe Robyn as performing her usual role of loyal supporter while maintaining her carefully cultivated image of innocence. One person close to the situation put it bluntly: Robyn is always there to pile on, but she does it in a way where she can later claim she was just agreeing with her husband. It is a pattern viewers have watched for years. But here is what Kody clearly forgot as he launched these attacks, and what viewers immediately pointed out in devastating fashion across every social media platform imaginable. The ultimate irony of Kody's attack on David's understanding of polygamy is so breathtaking that you almost have to admire the complete lack of self-awareness on display. Let us be brutally honest here. Kody Brown lived polygamy. He was married to 4 women for over 2 decades. He positioned himself as a patriarch, leading his family through the challenges of plural marriage. And what does he have to show for it? 3 divorces, estranged children, and a reputation as one of reality television's most spectacular failures. If living polygamy makes you an expert, then Kody is an expert in how to destroy everything you claim to value. Fans were absolutely ruthless in pointing out this hypocrisy across every platform. One viral comment that perfectly encapsulated the sentiment read, "Kody saying David does not know jack about polygamy is like the captain of the Titanic telling other sailors they do not understand boats." Another observer noted that by Kody's own logic, his extensive experience with polygamy taught him how to alienate his wives, neglect his children, and drive away everyone who ever loved him. Some expertise that turned out to be, the internet was having an absolute field day with this man's lack of self-awareness. Let us itemize exactly what Kody has demonstrated he does not know despite his years of experience. He does not know how to be a present father, as multiple children have publicly stated they have no relationship with him. He does not know how to maintain romantic relationships relationships, as 3 wives walked away from their marriages. He does not know how to be a functioning patriarch, as his family has splintered into factions that want nothing to do with each other. He does not know how to take accountability, as every tell-all features him blaming everyone except himself. He does not know how to treat women with respect, as his own words and actions have demonstrated repeatedly. This is the man lecturing others about what they do not know. Sources close to former Brown family members say the hypocrisy was not lost on anyone who has watched this situation unfold. One insider revealed that when Christine saw Kody's comments, she actually laughed out loud. After everything she went through, after all the years of being neglected and dismissed, watching him try to take the moral high ground was genuinely funny to her. Another source noted that even people who used to defend Kody have given up trying to excuse his behavior at this point. He has made it impossible for anyone to argue he is anything other than what he appears to be. What really stings for Kody, according to those who know him, is that David does not even need to engage with these attacks to win. David's quiet life with Christine speaks for itself. Their happiness is visible in every photograph, every social media post, every interview they give. Meanwhile, Kody is stuck in a marriage that increasingly looks like a prison of his own making, bitter and aging and unable to accept that his choices led him here. The comparison is devastating and everyone can see it. And then there is the uncomfortable truth that Kody absolutely cannot escape, no matter how many insults he hurls at David Woolley. Here is the elephant in the room that makes Kody's attacks on David particularly absurd, and honestly pretty pathetic when you really think about it. David Woolley is now the father figure to Christine's children. The children that Kody fathered but has systematically abandoned through his own choices. The man Kody is mocking and dismissing is the one showing up every single day for kids that Kody himself created. If that is not the most backward situation imaginable, I do not know what is. Sources close to Christine's household describe David's relationship with her children as genuine and deeply committed. He has stepped into a role that Kody vacated, and by all accounts, he has done so with grace and dedication. One insider revealed that the children who were initially hesitant have come to see David as a stable, loving presence in their lives. He attends their events, he supports their goals, he is there for the daily moments that actually matter. In other words, he is doing everything Kody stopped doing years ago. The contrast between David's presence and Kody's absence could not be more stark. Multiple reports over the years have documented Kody's distance from his children with Christine. Family members have spoken publicly about feeling abandoned. Children have expressed hurt over their father's priorities. And through all of this, Kody has chosen to double down on his relationship with Robyn while letting his other relationships wither and die. David did not create this situation, Kody did. And now Kody has the nerve to attack the man who is cleaning up his mess. Let us be real about what should have happened in that tell-all. If Kody had even a shred of self-awareness or decency, he would have expressed gratitude that someone stepped up for his children when he would not. Instead of mocking David's background or dismissing his perspective, Kody could have acknowledged that his children are better off because David is in their lives. But that would require Kody to admit his own failures, and we all know that is never going to happen. His ego will not allow it, even when his children's well-being is at stake. Industry observers who study family dynamics on reality television note that Kody's behavior follows a predictable pattern seen in absent fathers who resent their replacements. One expert in family psychology commented that men like Kody often feel threatened by stepfathers who succeed where they failed. Rather than examine their own shortcomings, they attack the new father figure as a defense mechanism. The criticism is not really about David at all. It is about Kody being confronted with living proof of his own inadequacy. But the drama did not stop with Kody's attacks, and another wife's reaction during the tell-all shocked everyone who thought they understood the dynamics of this fractured family. Perhaps the most unexpected development from the tell-all was Janelle's surprising stance on David Woolley, and folks, this one truly came out of left field. Viewers who have followed the show expected Janelle to support Christine's happiness given their long friendship and shared experience of leaving Kody. Instead, Janelle expressed her own reservations about David during the special, and speculation about her motivations has been running wild ever since. Sources familiar with Janelle's perspective say she has struggled with Christine's rapid transition into a new marriage. One insider close to the situation revealed that Janelle has made comments suggesting she felt Christine moved on too quickly, as if there was some appropriate waiting period before finding happiness again. Let us be clear about what that really suggests. After years of being neglected and dismissed by Kody, after finally having the courage to leave, Christine was supposed to what? Sit alone and mourn a marriage that had been dead for years? The logic makes absolutely no sense. The The speculation that has taken hold among fans is that Janelle may be jealous of Christine's happiness. Christine left Kody and found a loving partner who adores her. She is thriving publicly and privately, building a life that looks genuinely joyful. Meanwhile, Janelle left Kody and remains single, still processing a marriage that consumed decades of her life. It would be human nature to feel some envy in that situation, even if Janelle would never admit it publicly. The contrast between their post-Kody lives is significant and impossible to ignore. But there is another theory that has gained traction, and it is even more disturbing to consider. Some observers believe Janelle remains emotionally attached to Kody despite their separation. The connection between them, forged over more than 30 years, may not be as severed as Janelle wants people to believe. If some part of Janelle still harbors feelings for Kody, then her criticism of David could stem from a place of conflicted loyalty rather than genuine concern for Christine. This would explain why she seemed to align with Kody's position rather than defending her longtime sister wife. Those who know Janelle describe her as someone who values loyalty above almost everything else, and that loyalty is complicated when it comes to Kody. One source put it this way: Janelle invested her entire adult life in that family. Walking away does not mean she has fully processed what happened or where her allegiances truly lie. Another person noted that Janelle has always been more willing than the other wives to make excuses for Kody's behavior. Old patterns die hard. What makes this even more complicated is the friendship between Janelle and Christine that has been one of the few bright spots in this family's saga. Fans have loved seeing them support each other post-Kody, and this apparent disagreement over David threatens that bond. Whether Janelle's feelings about David will cause lasting damage to their relationship remains to be seen, but the tension is undeniably there. This unexpected alliance between Janelle and Kody hints at fractures fans never saw coming, and the role of one particular wife in orchestrating the drama may be more significant than anyone realized. No discussion of Brown family dysfunction would be complete without examining Robyn's role, and the season 20 tell-all provided plenty of evidence that she remains firmly in Kody's corner while playing her favorite part as the victim. Robyn's backing of Kody's attacks on David was predictable to anyone who has watched this show, but the way she executed it deserves examination because it follows a pattern we have seen countless times before. Throughout the tell-all, Robyn positioned herself as supportive but reluctant, as if she was just going along with what her husband said rather than actively participating in the pile-on. This is classic Robyn strategy, according to multiple sources who have observed her behavior over the years. One insider described it perfectly: Robyn never throws the first punch, but she is always there to land the second one, while claiming she was just defending her family. She has perfected the art of aggression disguised as loyalty, and it works every single time. What makes Robyn's participation in attacking David particularly rich is her own history. Let us not forget that Robyn entered this family under circumstances that caused significant pain to the other wives. She benefited enormously from joining the plural marriage, gaining financial security, and eventually becoming Kody's favorite and then only functioning wife. For her to now sit in judgment of someone else entering this family dynamic takes a special kind of audacity that is honestly impressive in its shamelessness. Sources close to the situation suggest that Robyn feels threatened by Christine's successful new relationship for reasons that go beyond simple loyalty to Kody. Christine's happiness proves that life after the Brown family is not just possible but potentially better than life within it. Every time Christine posts a smiling picture with David, it undermines Robyn's narrative that leaving the family was a mistake. If Christine is thriving, then maybe Robyn's position as the loyal wife who stayed is not as enviable as she wants people to believe. The tears that Robyn shed during the tell-all were noted by viewers who have seen her crying routine so many times that it has become something of a running joke. One social media post that got significant engagement simply read, "Somewhere out there is a pool specifically for Robyn's crocodile tears." Another viewer noted that Robyn cries more in one tell-all than most people cry in an entire year. Whether these tears are genuine or performative is a debate that has raged among fans for years, but the timing of them always seems to coincide with moments when sympathy might deflect criticism from her. What seems clear is that Robyn remains committed to supporting Kody's version of events, no matter how obviously flawed that version might be. She has tied her wagon to his star completely, and at this point she has no choice but to defend his actions, because admitting he is wrong would require examining her own role in this family's destruction. But the tell-all had even more explosive moments waiting to air, and what is coming in the final part might be the most dramatic yet. Viewers who thought the drama over David Woolley was the peak of this tell-all should buckle up, because the final part airing Sunday promises to deliver even more chaos. Production sources are teasing a catfish scenario that apparently gets Kody hot and bothered all over again, and if you thought his attacks on David were unhinged, just wait until you see what is coming next. The details of the catfish situation remain somewhat unclear, but what has been confirmed is that it involves some kind of deception that Kody takes extremely personally. One insider who has seen advance footage described Kody's reaction as volcanic, with another round of bleeping required to make the content suitable for broadcast. The man apparently cannot get through a single segment without completely losing his composure, and this catfish revelation sends him over the edge yet again. Speculation about what the catfish scenario actually involves has been running wild online. Some fans believe it might relate to someone posing as a supporter online only to turn out to be gathering information for negative purposes. Others think it could involve one of the wives or their allies operating accounts that Kody did not know about. Whatever the specifics, the reaction it provokes in Kody suggests it strikes at something he considers deeply personal and threatening. Sources who have watched the footage also confirm that Robyn's tears make another appearance during this segment. Shocker, right? The prediction that she would find yet another opportunity to position herself as a victim appears to be accurate. One person who saw the advance cut noted that Robyn manages to make even this situation about her own pain, redirecting attention from whatever the actual issue is to her own emotional suffering. It is a skill she has honed to perfection over the years. What makes this upcoming segment particularly interesting is the question of whether it will provide any actual resolution or simply add more fuel to the already raging fire. Tell-all specials in the Sister Wives franchise have historically promised closure while delivering chaos, and there is no indication this one will be any different. Fans have learned to manage their expectations accordingly. The timing of this final part airing on Sunday means viewers have had nearly a week to process Kody's attacks on David and formulate their opinions. Social media has been ablaze with commentary, analysis, and frankly hilarious memes at Kody's expense. Whatever comes next will land on an audience that has already made up its mind about who the villain of this story really is. Fans are now asking a question that TLC should have answered from the beginning, and the network's decision has left viewers deeply frustrated. The question that has dominated fan discussions since the tell-all aired is simple. Why were Kody and David not on stage together? TLC had the opportunity to create television gold by putting these two men in the same room and letting them hash out their differences directly. Instead, they kept them separated, and viewers are demanding to know why. The frustration among longtime Sister Wives fans is palpable. Social media has been flooded with comments expressing disappointment at the missed opportunity. One post that got significant engagement read, "They built up this conflict for weeks and then did not even give us the confrontation." Another viewer noted that keeping them apart felt like false advertising, promising drama they had no intention of delivering. These are not unreasonable complaints. The entire tell-all seems structured to highlight the tension between Kody and David without ever actually bringing them together. There are several theories about why TLC made this choice, and none of them reflect particularly well on the network or on Kody himself. The most popular theory is that Kody refused to appear on stage with David, knowing he would be outmatched in a direct confrontation. David's calm demeanor and lack of explosive anger would make Kody look even worse by comparison than he already does. Keeping them separate allowed Kody to rage without someone steady and composed sitting next to him, highlighting just how unhinged he has become. Another theory suggests that TLC was protecting Kody from embarrassment, perhaps believing that their show depends on maintaining him as a central figure rather than exposing him completely. This would be a miscalculation if true, because viewers are clearly more interested in seeing accountability than in protecting Kody's image. The days of anyone viewing him sympathetically are long gone, and the network's apparent reluctance to let David confront him directly feels like a missed opportunity at best. Some insiders suggest that the separation was about safety and logistics, with production concerned about what might happen if the confrontation became physical or too heated. Given Kody's inability to control his emotions during his solo segments, this concern might have merit. However, staging confrontational interviews is literally what reality television does, and claiming they could not manage this particular one strains credibility. What a direct confrontation could have revealed is exactly what many fans wanted to see. Would Kody maintain his bravado face-to-face with David? Would David's calm persistence crack Kody's defenses? Would the truth about their respective characters become even more apparent in direct comparison? We will never know, because TLC chose the safer route. This tell-all may have exposed something about Kody that he can never take back, and the damage to his reputation might be permanent. When the dust settles on this tell-all, what will remain is an indelible image of Kody Brown as a bitter, jealous man who attacks others rather than examining himself. His decision to publicly insult David Woolley did not make him look strong or righteous. It made him look small and petty and deeply insecure about his own irrelevance in Christine's new life. Some mistakes in the public eye cannot be undone, and this appears to be one of them. The jealousy underlying Kody's attacks was transparent to everyone watching. Here is a man who lost Christine through his own neglect and cruelty, watching her build something beautiful with someone else. Rather than accepting that he drove her away, Kody has chosen to blame everyone except himself. David becomes the target because David represents everything Kody is not: stable, present, loving, and capable of maintaining a functional relationship. Attacking David is really about attacking the mirror David holds up to Kody's failures. The insecurity is equally obvious. Kody spent decades as the center of attention in his family, the patriarch around whom everything revolved. Now he is increasingly marginalized, watching his former wives build lives that do not include him. His children are growing up and making their own choices about whether to have relationships with him, and many are choosing not to. His relevance is fading with every passing season, and he knows it. The attack on David was a desperate attempt to reassert dominance that he no longer possesses. What makes this moment so damaging for Kody is that it confirms what his critics have said for years. He is not interested in growth or accountability. He is not capable of genuine self-reflection. He would rather lash out at the people who have moved on than admit that his own behavior caused them to leave. Every excuse, every deflection, every attack on others is just further evidence of a man who refuses to learn from his catastrophic failures. The contrast between Christine's current life and Kody's bitter existence tells you everything you need to know about who made the right choice. Christine is thriving with a partner who loves and respects her. She is building new memories and new happiness after years of feeling invisible in her own marriage. Meanwhile, Kody is stuck in a cycle of anger and blame, isolated from most of his children and dependent on a wife who enables his worst impulses. The outcomes speak for themselves. Has Kody's public attack on David finally turned the last sympathetic fans against him? Based on the reaction online, it certainly seems that way. Even people who tried to maintain neutrality have found themselves unable to defend his behavior at this tell-all. The man has become impossible to root for, and with each passing appearance, he makes it harder for anyone to see him as anything other than the villain of his own story. So here is the question that matters most, the one that has been at the heart of this entire saga. Who really does not know Jack? Is it David Woolley, the man who stepped into a difficult situation and built something meaningful with Christine and her children? Or is it Kody Brown, the man who had every advantage and every opportunity and still managed to destroy almost everything he touched? The answer seems obvious to everyone except Kody himself, and perhaps that is the most damning indictment of all.